Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
WWE SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis may soon be forced to take strict action. A 32-year-old superstar from the Bloodline recently interfered in a match. Furthermore, after the GM personally spoke to him, Solo Sikoa attempted to level allegations against Aldis. Therefore, there is a possibility that he could be banned from the upcoming Backlash Premium Live event. LA Knight and Damian Priest kicked off this week's episode of SmackDown with a singles match. Both superstars heavily punished each other but refused to be pinned. While the WWE Universe showered the two wrestlers with "This Is Awesome" chants, their match concluded with a disqualification victory for Priest due to Solo Sikoa's interference. Sikoa, however, was ganged up on by the Punisher and the Megastar. But before he could sustain any real damage, Jacob Fatu came to his rescue. Putting out the exhausted babyfaces, Fatu and Sikoa stood tall. Later in the show, Nick Aldis spoke to the heel superstars in a backstage segment. He said that this was the second disqualification caused by them in 2 consecutive weeks. As a result, Fatu would now go on to defend the U.S. title at Backlash in a triple threat against Knight and Priest. However, Solo pointed out that Drew McIntyre was the original #1 contender. Hearing this, Aldis added the Scottish Warrior to the match as well, turning it into a fatal 4-way. Sikoa alleged that the GM was screwing Fatu over. However, Aldis claimed that Solo's mouth was the real culprit behind everything. Given his tendency, Solo Sikoa may not sit quietly and try to retaliate. Moreover, he might also try to help the Samoan werewolf, believing that he put his teammate in a difficult situation. To prevent this from occurring, the SmackDown general manager could ban the 32-year-old star from WWE Backlash 2025. While this is a strong possibility, all of this is speculation for now. Jacob Fatu could leave the Bloodline on the upcoming episode of WWE SmackDown. While the new Bloodline acted unitedly on this week's episode of WWE SmackDown, the bonds between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa aren't very strong right now. The heel Crew's leader created problems for his teammate ahead of WrestleMania 41 due to unnecessary interference. This not only cost Fatu a title match, but it also forced him to somehow create a chance to go to WrestleMania 41 to challenge LA Knight for the U.S. Championship. The Samoan werewolf handled himself perfectly at WWE's biggest premium live event, but Solo Sikoa has now created a new challenge for him. As a result, Jacob Fatu will have to enter his very first title defense match against 3 top superstars of the Blue brand. Furthermore, he can lose the title without even being pinned in the no disqualification match. Thus, there is a chance that the Samoan werewolf could leave the faction due to mounting frustration. While the Stamford-based promotion has dropped several hints indicating an eventual split, this remains speculative for now. It will be interesting to see if Fatu would leave St. Louis with his U.S. title on May 10th. WWE fans are still reeling from the fallout of this week's explosive episode of Friday Night SmackDown, where a Bloodline member took things too far, forcing SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis to make one of the most controversial decisions of his tenure. In a bold move that sent shockwaves through the WWE Universe, Aldis officially banned Solo Sikoa from participating in WWE Backlash, France, citing reckless endangerment and blatant disrespect for WWE authority. The chaos unleashed. It all started in the main event of SmackDown when Solo Sikoa, flanked by Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa, hijacked a match between Kevin Owens and LA Knight that was set to determine the #1 contender for the undisputed WWE Championship. Just as Knight was gearing up for his finishing blow, Solo slid into the ring, spiked him with a Samoan spike, and turned the match into a chaotic brawl. Owens tried to fight back but was met with a steel chair shot from Tanga Loa, who had disguised himself at ringside before revealing his presence. The Bloodline faction, now more feral and unpredictable than ever under Solo's leadership in Roman Reigns' absence, continued the assault post-match. Security stormed the ring, but Solo took things a step further, hitting WWE official Jason Ayers with a steel chair when he tried to break up the fight. That moment was the tipping point, and the very act that sealed Solo's fate for Backlash. Nick Aldis takes control. Backstage, the cameras caught Nick Aldis storming out of his office, visibly fuming as officials tended to Ayers and the broken chaos left by the Bloodline. Aldis didn't mince words in a post-show interview. "This is not the island of relevancy, this is WWE," Aldis said sternly. Solo Sikoa crossed the line. "This isn't just about interfering in a match, he assaulted an official and endangered the safety of the locker room. That will not be tolerated." Later, in a WWE Exclusive video, Aldis confirmed his decision. Solo Sikoa was officially banned from entering the arena at WWE Backlash. Not only would Solo be absent from the show, but he would also face disciplinary measures that could include fines and a future suspension. Mixed reaction in the locker room. The locker room response was immediate, and divided. Kevin Owens praised the decision, telling WWE.com, "About time someone stood up to these guys. Nick Aldis showed real guts tonight. Solo's been running wild thinking no one would stop him. Not anymore." But not everyone was supportive of the ban. Paul Heyman, still closely tied to the legacy of the Bloodline despite the group's recent descent into chaos, gave a cryptic response to the press. "Nick Aldis has just made a career-defining mistake," Heyman whispered. "You don't ban a force of nature. You brace for the storm." Meanwhile, Louisiana Knight, still nursing injuries from the attack, issued a challenge, not to Solo, but to whoever would be allowed to represent the Bloodline at Backlash. "I ain't done with any of them," Knight growled during a WWE digital exclusive. "Solo might be banned, but if Tangaloa or Tama Tonga wanna show up, I got 2 boots with their names on 'em. Yeah." Backlash implications and fallout. The decision has left a major hole in the Bloodline's plans for Backlash. Many speculated that Solo Sikoa was being positioned for a dominant showcase, possibly even a match with a returning star or a rising babyface like Knight or Owens. But with his removal, the faction's future heading into the PLE is uncertain. Insiders suggest that Tama Tonga could step into the spotlight instead, potentially setting up a surprise match against Knight. There's also buzz about Jacob Fatu, long rumored to be on WWE's radar, possibly debuting to replace Solo and send a chilling message to Aldis. A WWE producer, speaking anonymously, said, "This is what Nick Aldis was brought in to do, restore order. But when you pick a fight with the Bloodline, you better be ready for the consequences." Solo's reaction, silent but dangerous. As of Saturday afternoon, Solo Sikoa has not issued any public response to the ban. However, late Friday night, he posted a chilling image to Instagram, a bloodied steel chair with the caption, "This is only the beginning." That post has since gone viral, with fans speculating that Solo may attempt to defy the ban and show up at Backlash anyway. WWE security is reportedly being reinforced for the event in Lyon, France, with new protocols in place to prevent unauthorized backstage access. Some speculate that the Bloodline could retaliate before Backlash, perhaps even targeting Aldis himself. Roman Reigns' absence more notable than ever. The tribal chief's absence continues to loom large over the WWE landscape. With Solo asserting himself as the new alpha of the Bloodline, and Aldis stepping in as a firm authority figure, the seeds are being planted for an eventual confrontation. And while Roman Reigns has not been seen since WrestleMania, sources believe he is watching, and may not be pleased with how his legacy is being dismantled piece by piece. Final thoughts. Nick Aldis' decision to ban Solo Sikoa from WWE Backlash, France may prove to be one of the boldest calls in recent WWE history. It marks a turning point in the ongoing war between the Bloodline and WWE management, a power struggle that's been simmering since Roman Reigns first declared himself head of the table. But in trying to restore order, has Aldis merely thrown fuel on a fire that's about to explode? One thing's for sure, Backlash just got a whole lot more unpredictable. Would you like a follow-up story if Solo defies the ban and shows up anyway?